Hello, everyone. Welcome back. My name is Holiday Doc for the OCC Online Codcaster channel, and I've got Ego, Mr. King of the Icons here, and we're gonna address what's going on with the drama today. It seems like we've got Ego versus the world. I just don't know where to start with this. What happened? Where did it start? And how did this day even start off with a bad foot?
Um, it really, it wasn't just people are like, oh, what happened today? It wasn't that big of a deal. Like, it wasn't just today at all.
Okay.
Like, I was, I, it's actually hard to talk about a little bit, but I was having these feelings like on and off a little bit here and there. I guess we have to really go way back,
All
to
right.
be
Let's
honest.
let's let's start from the beginning
We'll
then.
start
Let's.
from the beginning. A lot of people watch that end up watching this might not even be like, who the fuck is this guy? So I started out as Twitch TV or Justin TV at the time's first ever streamer. I was their first partner, I'm sorry, first competitive Call of Duty player that went over there. I feel like I pioneered kind of that way of helping getting all the pro players over there, showing how important the stream was, and I was doing amazing things. We had about 9 million views in a year. I believe we were one of their biggest channels, probably one of the only channels that could keep up with the StarCraft or
Yeah,
League of
with
Legends
StarCraft.
channels.
Yeah.
9 million views in a year was good. So now I'm going to backtrack a little bit before we meet these two stories up. I I started my live stream and the site, and Fwiz at the time was a very, very good friend of mine, a very good friend. We used to stream every day together. We would smoke and play zombies. We'd have a great time. We were buds. Things were great. He was a GB admin at the time, but he would still commentate our online tournaments. He was all about the community and about making shit better for everybody else, making sure that shit was fair to everybody, making sure everyone was happy. Um, and then when he got his job as a community manager at Machinima, um,
Sorry, I lost your mic there for a minute.
yeah, my ass was turned off. Um, I was happy for him, man. It was awesome. He got to go from being a GB admin to getting a job at this upcoming company. And I have no idea why that's happening, but okay. He got this job at an upcoming company. I was so happy for him, man. And the first thing he always said to me was, "Man, he's like, when I get the opportunity to do big things, we're gonna do such big things together." But he's always been hand in hand with icons. He's helped me out so much to learn and just grow. And then the time came where he got that opportunity, and he came to me and was like, "Man, he's like, we're gonna do Frag Cup together." And that's something I always wanted. Like, even before he went to Machinima, I looked at Frag Cup and I was like, this tournament could be so much better if I just got my hands on it. We could take this TDM bullshit and all the stupid things they were doing. I remember before, and I think it was MW2, there was a Frag Cup. It was a MV and TVA, and they were playing these backward ass maps, these backward ass rules, and it was awful. And I used to say to myself, like, if we got our hands on that, we could make it so much bigger and so much better. And we did. We fucking killed it.
Yep.
We had the first time for MW3, we had like 1,700 teams. For Black Ops 2, we had 1,800 teams. You won't find any tournaments that got teams like that.
No.
And and they did good. They were great. But people don't realize what I had to do to get that. And I blame Fwiz for this a little bit. But I understand it from a company standpoint. I understood it and I believed in him because he was a friend. That's really like one people will always ask me, well, why don't you have sponsors or why don't you work enough with other companies? And I know what we can do, and I know we can do it on our own. We don't need anybody else. Um, I mean, to be honest, we actually do need the approval of like Activision or whatever because it's their game. But I'm just saying we don't need other companies. But Fwiz came and said to me, he's like, listen, he was like, you're gonna have to give up your Twitch partnership. And think about that. As I said, we had
Yeah.
9 million views in a year. That was my only source of income, pretty much.
Yeah.
He's like, but we'll give you 8 frag cups. So you think about that. We're gonna have 8 frag cups over the next 2 years. They're gonna be on YouTube Live, so we're gonna lose some views. But we got Machinima behind us, so they should help us bring in views, right? I'm like, all right, I'm all about it. I want frag cup. Our right now, what the community needed, we needed tournaments. All right, there was no MLG, there was nothing else. We needed these big money tournaments. So I was willing.
So let me stop you there. Like So when Modern Warfare 3 wasn't picked up by anybody, wasn't supported by any organizations, there was 360 icons still plugging away at things, right?
Yeah, I sacrificed what I had. I could have sat there and played pubs on Twitch and made my own money the way like Incredible Orb and those guys do, and just sat there and had 1,000 viewers watching nukes and Moabs and woo, like that shit's fucking stupid. But I did that shit at the beginning. That's how I built my stream. I went on there. Sandy Ravage was the big streamer at the time.
Yep.
I would go in his chat and I would be like, this guy fucking sucks. Come watch me play. And it wasn't really the ethical way to go about it, but it really just stirred up the pot and it really made it fun. It created a rivalry, and like I had no problem with Sandy. I didn't even know him, but
Hmm.
it just stirred things up. So for me to give that up, that was a big sacrifice. Like I lost basically any income I had off of that to help me break even with the $300 a week that I was already putting into Call of Duty tournaments out of my own pocket with no
Yeah.
return. So that helped out some. It made me feel a bit more comfortable throwing that money into players, which is something I'm about. I started my website because I want players to be able to play and make money playing. I don't want kids to sit here and put 12-hour days in playing tournaments to make less money than they make at McDonald's. That's what happened to me in World at War. That's why I started my website. I think I won like 8 of 12 tournaments in a row, and I made like $40 a tournament when I was paying like $20 to enter. And I was like, hold on, this doesn't seem
Hold
right.
on. I'm
Yeah.
getting fisted here.
Yeah, so after getting fisted, we had started that up, and
Okay.
then MW3, we we had to leave Twitch, which sucked. Our streaming was great for us. It brought us in.
Was there some back end promise that you were going to make much better money from moving from Twitch to YouTube? Like
Well,
what was
there
the
was
reasoning
tons of
for you to
back
leave?
end promises. See, like I didn't have huge faith. I mean, I had faith in the idea of like, wow, live on YouTube, like that sounds like it could really work out. It's gonna be hard because we don't have a sub count, but if we have the backing of Machinima and Fwiz is, I've been his boy for 3 years. Like they'll help us get those viewers up on YouTube, knowing that we just gave up. Like we had 14,000 followers on Twitch. We don't have any followers anymore. They're gonna help us out. We didn't stream that much on YouTube because, to be honest, like when we signed, it was like in a super beta phase, pretty much. Like it wasn't even ready to go when we signed with them,
Yeah.
and we were promised all this stuff. Like I was like, Fwiz, like how am I gonna go over there if I can't run commercials and there's no transcoding? Like if I want to stream in 720p, like not everyone can watch that. That's an issue. That loses viewers. All of this stuff. Promise. I promise you by April, 2 months from now, we'll have this, we'll have that, we'll have this, we'll have that. April came, nothing. A year late, literally went about a whole 8 months after the. I'll touch Frag Cup 3 a little bit. We did Frag Cup 3. It was good. We got tons of teams. The qualifiers didn't get any views because they were on our channel, and the promotion we got from Machinima was fucking awful. Um, and from there, like we went and they streamed the finals on their channel, and it did well. I think it was one of the biggest Call of Duty events to be streamed
Hmm.
at the time. It was MW3 Frag Cup 3. They had about 8,000 people watching, and it was fun. It was whatever. I was excited to do Frag Cup 4. Hopefully, YouTube Live fixed their shit. We could actually get to streaming on there on a daily basis, and things would only grow and get better. And just time went and went and went, and they never gave us any of the features that we were promised on YouTube. And we were about a year and a half into this contract, and we were about to run our second Frag Cup. When meanwhile our contract said that we were going to have 8 Frag Cups in 2 years. So I'm pretty disappointed at this point. And we ran the next Frag Cup, and our VOD actually on our channel for Frag Cup 4 did amazing
Hmm.
for not having a channel. I think we have like 5,000 subs, and the two videos got like 40,000 VOD views. The live streams did pretty good. The promotion was better. You had having support from good friends, Hex, Jaws, all those guys have always like been great friends and great supporters. So having those guys be able to put that out on Twitter, it really helped out. I really can't say Mishima did that much, to be honest, because a tweet from them, literally a tweet from them probably gave us about 5 viewers when they had a fucking mic.
Yeah, so
They have
as
800,000 people on Facebook,
yeah.
and they would put out something on their Facebook, and we'd get like 5 people out of it. I don't know how that worked, but whatever. I was unhappy. I told Fwiz I was unhappy. I was like, we're gonna be running daily tournaments. If I can't, like, we need these daily tournaments to be on Twitch. Period. Like, you can't hold us back. Like, how are you gonna sit here and hold us back? YouTube Live is awful. You know it's awful. I'm pretty sure. Don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure that it wasn't Fwizz's fault. It was between YouTube and Machinima, and YouTube had the control and didn't give them everything they needed or wanted on time or whatever, but it just wasn't working. It
Okay.
took longer, it takes longer than they thought or whatever it was. But the fact is, he basically told me that we couldn't have Frag Cup without being on YouTube Live. Um, and when it came down to me at that point, we needed Frag Cup and MW3. It was great for the first time in Black Ops 2, but we want to run daily tournaments and we want to be self-sustainable. We don't need anybody else. And we want to stream our daily events every single day on Twitch so people can actually see them. So it came down to the fact that I told Fwiz, I was like, we want out. You guys didn't live up to a lot of the contract or whatever. And he basically we kind of had a mutual agreement. He didn't like the way I act on social media. I'm a too over the top. I can be unstable. I say things people don't like. But in reality, what it comes down to in that is I'm honest and Fwiz is fake. I know him. I've heard the shit he says. I know how he acts behind closed doors, and the fake front he puts on Twitter just because he has to because he has a job, which I understand. But don't sit here and knock me for being myself. And I haven't changed. That's the other thing that drives me crazy is, man, I've been the same way for the past like 3 or 4 or 5 years. I haven't changed, and all of a sudden people are coming at me like you can't act like that now because COD's going mainstream and it's got to be more professional. Like I, I'm still gonna be me actually because I don't have anyone writing me a check telling me any
Mm-hmm.
kinds of rules or regulations. I'm gonna be totally honest. I'm a player. Okay, I play Call of Duty at a pro level. I want things to be right, man. I'm sick of the bullshit. Like, well, we'll step into what's kind of happened more recently now.
Well, can I just
Um,
can I just ask, like,
oh
are
yeah,
you officially done then with Frag Cup? Has
oh
that
yeah,
contract been null and void?
yeah. We are done with Frag Cup.
Okay.
So then we'll come up to more recently.
Okay.
Um, Let me think of where I can start. I guess we'll just start at the beginning of Black Ops 2. As Icons as a company, particularly, we sat there at the very beginning and we put in so much work. First of all, the whole Frag Cup was very early, and Fwiz and Vaughn had this whole push of making sure we use everything. Everything's allowed, you know what I mean? And I wasn't really for it, but I wasn't against it. Like I liked the idea of it. I had no harm in trying it, but there was a lot of backlash on it. I'm sure everybody knew that. And all that backlash came on me. Like, I want to clear that also because so many people came at me over that time at the beginning of the game. Thousands and thousands. My interactions were in the thousands every day with people being like, score streaks, you're an idiot. And like, listen, to be honest, I knew they would work out because people did like it was like overhyped or over. It wasn't that big of a deal. But I was willing to work with whatever they wanted and we worked with it and it worked out and it was fine, but like that I don't want that falling on me, all right? And when we worked with it, we made sure we went in and we made sure the game, and this is what icons will always be about, and I don't see how tournaments can run any other way. They have to be as competitive as possible. You could not have people running around with dual cap 40s and two-shot FALs and expect people to be like, wow, that took skill or that took talent or that was amazing to see because anyone who plays the game will know otherwise. And well, so now let's dive into what we have at hand. So we took all that time to fix and we used everything out of the box and we slowly took out things that we, as a whole community, I straight out said, I was like, we're not going to touch anything. People will always bitch about something no matter what.
Exactly.
But but we will not touch anything unless it's unanimous, pretty much. And there was only two things from that point on, once we had like that good universal rule set in play for about a month span, we were running tournaments with it every day with no complaints. Man, enough Wiz calling me. Fuck out of here. And and from that point on, we ran tournaments for a month straight with this rule set, and there was only two things that came and said to me, like as a unanimous decision of the community, like these things affect the game too much. They kill the balance of the guns, first of all, because before people saw what you could do with the FAL, you had all these guns being used, multiple ARs, multiple SMGs, great gun balance. And now, like after playing League Play for like
Now it's FALs and dual cap 40s.
I've been playing League Play for 19 days straight. about 12, at least 12 hours a day, and you see 90% FALs and dual cap 40s. And like we put in 3 or 4 months work of time to get rid of that and make it fair. And Vaughn comes on our forums acting like, oh, this universal rule set, people will have input and the community will have a say. And I saw this and I was so excited. And then I realized like this is posted on my website. This dude doesn't even acknowledge me. I've been doing this for 5 years and I've tried to just get some acknowledgement from Vaughn to like just to show that like, hey, nice job, or hey, you guys exist, or well, obviously we exist. He's posting on our forums. He knows that our community is there. So, but he's like saying that he's gonna listen, but then when we put in the input and we put shit out there, it's like, is he really listening or was he just saying that? Because like I said, we had two things that were unanimous of the fact that like they were just needed to be fixed and not nowhere near ready for competitive gameplay,
Hmm.
and somehow they're still there. If you look through that thread, I'm pretty sure it was said 100 times like the
The FAL has to go.
FAL, dual
Well,
cap
just
40
we can just
failed.
look at the MLG scrims and their daily tournaments before the rule set was finalized. There was a gentleman's agreement that nobody would use the automatic foul because it was something that was not viewership friendly, and that's the problem that we're seeing. Cap 40s are not viewer friendly. The FAL dual cap 40 combination is by far the worst thing we've seen in Call of Duty so far, in my opinion.
I think it's awful, man. I just think I woke up for a couple with after dealing with this league stuff and seeing the lack of support of really everywhere. Like, where do you get support for this league play? Where do you go to if you have an issue?
So
We're
yeah,
playing a
that's
million
a
dollar
very good question.
qualifier and we can't get a question answered. We don't know shit. Teams cheat. Teams dodge. Teams dashboard. Teams like the fucking system is so fucking bad. Like I'm gonna turn my Xbox on right now and I'm gonna look at the league ladder and I'm gonna just fucking call out everybody.
Okay,
Period. Like
so
and don't get me wrong, people might look at this like, oh, you're just mad that you're not in the top 8. We are in the top 8. We've been in that top 8 every single fucking day
yeah,
since day one. And I'm still pissed off because the system is fucking terrible and it's not fair. Like, I don't care if I'm getting a free trip to California to play for $1 million. I want it to be done the fucking right way where it's fair to everybody that's playing so everybody has an equal chance. Otherwise, it's just like right now, it's basically like who can abuse the system the hardest, who can avoid playing top teams the most, and who gets the luckiest amount of bullshit random XP. That's what the system is right now. It's a fucking joke. It's a fucking disgrace to competitive Call of Duty. It's not competitive at all. There's no
it's more
competitive.
of an endurance race than
Yeah,
anything.
it's like it's literally like
Yeah. I understand where you're coming from, but on the same notion, there was a lot of league play that should have happened earlier that just wasn't there to bring up these issues. And on that same regard, you're right. We don't have a public forum to voice what we can do to change things on Vondahar's side or Treyarch's side. If we have issues in league play, where do we go with them? I've yet to find a support admission to report cheaters, IP floods, or people dashboarding or abusing the system, or using the dashboard glitch to get 150 point XPs. Like I have yet to see a public way to get in touch with admin staff for this league play,
yeah, there is none.
and there hasn't been any addressment or anybody who has addressed the issues. There's been no, public announcement saying, "Hey, we are aware of these issues. The teams that are caught exploiting will automatically be forfeited." We haven't seen any of that. Why do you think they're so hesitant to address the issues in the league play? Do you think that they went too far ahead with the league play before finalizing all of the major issues?
I don't know what their issues are. I don't know why there's no admins, but I know that our Icons has run tons of tournaments, right? And I know that if we ever went and didn't have admins on all day long, that we'd be looked at as the biggest joke in the world. I know that when we've had a tournament run 1 or 2 hours late, fucking Scumpy and Nature are the first people to sit there and complain and bitch and criticize what we do. But now all of a sudden, it's Treyarch that's in the wrong and League Play that's fucking doing all this wrong shit, and I'm the one standing up and saying anything. And someone like Big Timer, who is a great friend for since Call of Duty 4, is telling me I'm in the wrong for calling them out and being honest. Like, I don't understand that double standard right there. Why is it any different for them? They're running a fucking organizational tournament that needs to be done the right way, that needs to be professional, that needs to have fucking management, and it has none, so they deserve to get bashed for it. If anyone else did that, they would get bashed for it. So why do we hold back just because it's the people that run the game? Oh, they need to learn and live and learn from it. No, they could have fucking learned from talking to anyone and acknowledging the people that have done it for the last 5 years, and it's their own fault for it being fucked up because they don't care to listen to the people that actually know what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So now as I look through this ladder, I'm just gonna I'll break a couple things down for you. The
Okay.
first place team is TVA. Good friends and all that team. I'm friends with everyone on every team in this ladder. We all talk about this. We all talk
Yeah.
about the whole situation. TVA has 458 wins, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they have 46,000 points. Now let's compare that to Complexity, who has one less win than them and 7,000 less points. One less win, 7,000 less points. Just somebody math me that, please, because you only get 150 points tops per game. So to have 7,000 more points, that's like what is it like like that's like 56 more games where they got 150 than Complexity.
Wow.
How is that fair? They played the same amount of games. I could bet you good money that Complexity lost a lot less than TVA lost because I saw TC beat TVA 5 times in one day. We beat TVA yesterday. They're first, we're seventh. We're trying to catch up. We beat them, we get 10 points for it. They beat anyone, they get 150. How? How, please, how do you play one more game and have 7,000 more points? I'm not saying anything bad against TVA. I don't think that they're cheating. I don't think it's their fault. I think the system is fucked. And I think the system is random. And I don't think it
Do
was
you
thought
really
of.
think the system is random? Because I've had some proof being or have that has been brought forward to me where they have shown me that they can consistently get 150 by two simple methods. And I don't know if I want to make this public before the league is actually done because I don't want more people abusing the system. But,
Well, two
but
things. I think that there was an update that came out today that supposedly addressed certain things. We'll get into that in a second. But I can tell you this: we have 474 wins. Oh, by the way, that's actually 20 wins less than TVA, and we have 9,000 points less than them. But I didn't want to use my own team as an example. But oh, one more example. Dare has 350 wins. Rizma, Fatalize, Apathy, Complex. All really good friends of mine. I've dealt with them all for a long time. I know none of them would ever cheat. And I know they're all too stupid to figure out anything to cheat, to be honest. And I know that we have sat here and myth busted a lot of theories. And I know that we've beaten them multiple times and they've beaten us multiple times. But the fact is, they have 120 less wins than us. 120 less wins. And they have 1,000 more points than us.
wow.
Please, please explain that. We have busted our ass. 12-hour days. Ricky goes to school on no sleep. Sure Shot goes to work on no sleep. Like, this shit is fucking with people's lives, and it's not even ran up to par. Like,
That's
it's
insane.
just I just don't understand. The system makes
Hmm.
zero sense on how we can have 120 more wins than a team, probably about the same amount of losses, and they're no one's doing anything differently, and they've got more points than us, even though we have 120 more wins. We'll dive into let's dive into the system real quick, like you talked about, because then the couple updates might make you be able to talk about your theories or whatever. But I've had lots of theories, and I've talked to tons of people who had theories, Fizzerp and Emily, and all these people who have played, Phoenix, who's in second. Every team has all these theories. But when it comes down to it, we've tested pretty much all of them. And what I've seen in the end is it's very random because we had a day literally where like we played games and like I think it was like 8 of 11 games we played were 150s, right?
Hmm.
8 of 11 150s. That's awesome. We were fucking pumped. Hell yeah, dude. People were hitting us up like, you guys are cheating. What's the 150 glitch? We don't know. It's fucking, we just got lucky, I guess. And then yesterday we literally played 20 games and I think 16 of them were tens.
Oh wow.
We went from fourth. We were tied with Vintage yesterday, and they got 4K more than us because we got tens all day. And there was nothing we could do. We were playing against full teams. We played master rank ones, we played master ranked middle, we played platinums, we played we just got tens every time. It was random. So like I just don't understand how this qualifier can be considered legit at all. And like I said, we're right up there. We're in seventh place, and we're going to continue playing it. And there was just a lot of issues that made it where teams were getting way more points than other teams. My main problem is this: whoever thought of this system where it's 150 or 10, did you ever think about making it closer than a 140 point gap per game? Like it's that simple to me. Like why couldn't it just be 150 and 50? That wouldn't be so bad. But when you get four tens in a row and then you lose 140 or I'm sorry, you lose 110 points after you just went 4-1, that's just doesn't make sense and it really fucking drives me crazy. And I mean like I know a lot of people on Twitter are like, "Oh, you have to be more mature and be more professional," but like I'm an emotional
You're
person
passionate about the
and
community
this
that
is
you're
my
a part
life. Yeah, this is my life and this is my passion. A lot of other people out there who are our community leaders or want this to be great and big successful and lots of views. Yay. No, those people really in reality they want it to be somewhere where they could make good money off of it. They don't care how it goes. They don't care if it's fair. They don't care if players are killing themselves playing fucking 20 hour people. Some people are playing 20-hour days like for 24 days straight. That's unhealthy. That shouldn't even be legal. This is if this was a job, like right, this is it's pretty much almost like a job.
yeah.
And if it was a job, we'd be working illegal amounts, right?
Yeah.
Because technically you can't work more than X amount of double shifts or whatever it is. I don't fucking know, but where people they're forcing players to play 12 plus hours a day for 24 hours straight or 24 days straight on a broken ass system because they're like, hey, I mean, it doesn't affect us. What do we care what these kids are ruining their lives, missing school, missing work, all to all for to chase a dream? Like it's just fucked up. It really fucking it bothers me, man. Like it bothered me so much. And like I have been trying really hard to work on the way I act on Twitter because I understand that I
I think
have
we're all guilty of
my
voicing when we
biggest
should.
problem is I'm not worried about being professional or worried about what some of these stuck up fucking assholes think of me. My biggest problem with the way I do act on Twitter sometimes is that I know I have younger kids that follow me and I have kids and I wouldn't want them following somebody that says some of the stuff that I say. That's my only issue and that's the
Mhm.
only thing that holds me back sometimes. But when it comes to caring about what people like all these higher up people in suits think about me that I'm a loudmouth or I'm an idiot, like I'm fucking honest, I'm fucking real. I'm not gonna lie to anyone, I'm not gonna steal from anyone, I'm not doing anything wrong. All I've done since day one is try and make shit as good as possible for everybody that's involved. Everybody. I've never looked down on anybody. I've never been biased towards a certain team. I've always been about everybody. I've interacted with every single player on every single team at every single event I've gone to because I want to learn about these people. I want these personalities to shine. I want these teams to grow. It's not just about like, oh man, maybe we could make a lot of money off of this league. If it was like that at all, I wouldn't be giving away free money for the last 5 years.
Yeah.
I wanted this shit to work because when I was younger, it's something that I was like, man, this would be the fucking dream, man. It'd be like a lot of kids out there who are like, oh, I could be a professional basketball player or a professional football player. Like it's the chances of that are 1 in a billion. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
But when it comes to Call of Duty, anybody can do it, and it just gives you that feeling of everybody has a chance. Like I could do it if I could do it as good as these other guys, and then there's no like your size doesn't matter, your weight doesn't matter, your height, whether you're a girl or a guy, everyone can do it. And I'm about that. And I love the idea of it and the direction it's gone in right now. Yeah, we have $1 million tournament finally. That's awesome. That's fucking awesome. We've needed that for a while, even though we had one last year and it was just as poorly ran. Um, but like, when it comes down to it, my involvement is this. If it's going to really be a joke the way it's been a joke recently, and we can't get anyone to listen, and we can't get anyone to care about like what's on our side of the book. It's not they Vaughn always preached like meet us in the middle or like you know what I'm does they ever heard that? There's one post on our site particularly that says like as we do more for them, they'll do more for us. But like from day one, we've done everything that they ask, and we can't even get responses. We can't even get help at league play. We can't like why if other people are abusing the system, why not just let the system out there? Like if one person knows it, everyone should know it. There's no reason that certain teams just should have a random advantage. Like I know that nobody is doing anything different, which is why I really believe in the whole random thing.
Okay.
And then we'll touch on today. Um, it was all whatever, and then all of a sudden today there's an update. And as you know, a big part of playing league play is you just search until you find teams, and you find a team and you play them, and that's one of the theories on how you get more points. Play only versus teams. And in my opinion, if I was making a league system, I would never have put solo people in position where single individuals have to go and play against full teams. That's not fair at all. Like, and it's boring from both point of views. Like, we already have enough games against full teams where we're sitting there, it's 5-0 in the first half of CTF, and we're just laying on our spawn waiting for that shit to end. Like, that's not how a competitive league should work. We
Yeah, I
should be
agree with that.
playing
Yeah.
the teams at the top should be playing against each other more for more points. If we beat TVA, we should bring them down and we should move up. It shouldn't be like, oh man, we just fucking beat 20 platinum teams today and got 150s for all of them. It didn't take any effort, any skill, but we also dodged every other good team out there. So we didn't have any chance of losing, and the system is already in place. Like we want basically the teams that got comfortable from just beating on shitty teams and dodging, they already won. Like they got nothing to lose. There's no way
Yeah.
that how can they lose? The only way they could lose is if they sat there and played against teams that they're going to lose to, and they avoid that.
Okay. So what happened today, like specifically that went on?
I to be honest, I woke up and I saw a couple things on Twitter, and I haven't really confirmed anything directly in league play at like as our full team.
Yeah.
I heard, but this is what I heard. I heard that counter UAVs are allowed now. Yeah, all right. So I can confirm counter UAVs are allowed. I can see that on the league play screen right now. I don't really know what the reason for that was, but I don't really mind it. Like that's not a big deal. Like to
Okay.
be honest, like why are you really going to use a counter UAV when you could just spam two EMPs at people the whole time? Like it's really the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Okay.
there's not really a bother with that. But my problem is that they're changing shit mid-season.
Yeah, that is an issue.
That's a huge issue. And a couple of things they changed were actually good things, but it's just the fact that they changed them now and it already put people already at an advantage. So it just hurts us even more. It hurts every team that's lower even more. So now supposedly this is let's break down the old system. You would search for a game if you got any amount of match players besides four, you would back out. If
Yes.
there was four, you would see if it's a full team. If it's a full team, you stay. If it's a good team and you're not a good team, you're gonna leave.
Then you dodge.
Then you dodge. Yeah, you avoid playing teams that are gonna shit on you because you're awful and you just want free wins and a free trip to COD XP to get first rounded. Um, and if it's a team of solo, sometimes like all right, when you search for a game, it shows you like match player and then it shows you the team and it like blinks for a second. And when it blinks, it says match player again. And you have the opportunity right there to back out because you don't want to play solo teams or you want to dodge. I guess supposedly they fixed that now. I guess
Okay.
the countdown is shorter or something like that, which by the way is even better for making classes to adjust to what game type you're playing or map you're playing. That's my favorite thing when I only can have 5 classes and I can barely have one class with dead silence on it for search. When you play against kids like Fwiz ASAP who got 4 S&D classes with millimeter scanners, cold blood, sensor grenades, and every other class, and you can't even prepare for that because you have no idea what game type or map you're playing and you only got 5 classes at your hand. But that's a whole different story. So now I guess supposedly you can't dashboard, you can't dodge, you can't avoid playing solo teams.
Excellent.
You can't avoid playing solo teams anymore either, though.
But on the solo team thing, I personally have played League with my team and got 150s from playing solo teams.
And I've heard that and I've seen that before, and that's why like the system is just confusing because a lot of people are on this like have to play teams thing, and to be honest, just playing teams just made it a little bit better
Mm-hmm.
from just like at least you have a little bit more competition. Like what
Yeah, I agree.
you know what I mean? Playing solo people, like even if it's the same XP, like I would still rather play a team just because like the competition's already bad enough with 99% of the teams that are in the ladder. Like we all say that league play actually makes us worse because it creates bad tendencies. We rotate later. We can get away with more mistakes against these shitty teams. So it creates all these bad tendencies where we're doing things that wouldn't work if we were playing against a top team, and it'll kind of make you think it worked because it works against a shitty team. I don't know if that makes any sense or not, but that's really the way
Well,
we've looked at it.
that's how it's always been, right? You only better yourself by playing the better teams. If you're going to continuously playing awful teams, you're not going to progress.
Yeah, and that's but league players promoted playing awful teams, but now at this point, like if everybody's forced to play solos and everything else. Like everybody's playing the same amount of teams. Nobody's
Mm.
dashboard. Nobody's avoiding. And from what we have, honestly, a lot of teams in the top 10 agree with this. For some reason, when two top 10 teams play each other, you get tens a lot, a
Yeah,
lot.
I've watched that on streams
So,
multiple times. Yeah,
so a lot of people would say, well, we're not dodging, but what's the point of us playing each other and wasting our time for 10 points?
yeah, okay,
Like, and we would do that too. And when lately we started, like at the beginning, we played Optic like 4 times in a day. We played Complexity twice, Quantic there. We played all those teams. And lately we've been to the point where we're like, we're just gonna fucking do the same thing everyone else is doing because that's like we're putting us at ourselves at an unfair advantage
yeah.
by
I
actually playing.
totally I see where the frustrations are coming from, right? Like, you know, you may be called Dodge or Dodgers or whatever you want to say, but you're playing the system. You're not going to get 150 XP. Why waste the 20 minutes, right?
Yeah. And also, why are we gonna risk ourselves if nobody else is risking themselves? We're risking the fact that we a game like when we go into 90% of our games, like we win at least 90% of our games. Our average day we go like 47, 48, and one or two.
Mm-hmm.
So we win a very high percentage of our games. So why are we gonna risk losing a game to complexity when we could just search again and play fucking Joe Llama 42 and get the same amount of points, probably more,
Yeah.
and not risk losing anything.
All right, Ego. I I can definitely see where your frustrations are coming from, and I really appreciate your time. And hopefully, this clears up a lot of what's going on today. I know you're gonna still get attacked nonstop on Twitter, and you'll have to
Yeah.
justify yourself time and time again. But maybe this video will help out and kind of bring light to the situation and just let people understand that there's always more to what's being said on Twitter. And if you take the time to really dive into the situation and the background of things, you start to see the full circle of things and why someone may be very upset or just passionate about what's going on in the community. um
And to be honest, I'm both. Like, a lot of people might not read into what I was saying some, but like I'm to the point where really like, listen, we do amazingly great, gigantic things on icons, even on a daily basis. While league play is going on, no matter what else is going on, we're still functioning on a daily basis. We're still having tons of teams come and pay to play or play for free. But when it comes down to is like, I really just I hate to say this word because this word is not a word I don't think I've ever said this word in my life, but I'm really to the point where I'm just ready to give up. And I'm talking about not playing anymore and not doing icons anymore because from what I see, it's not appreciated by anyone up top. And when it comes down to it, the players are gonna really they're gonna side with you know the larger prize pool.
I
If,
got
if
you.
like you know what I
I
mean,
got you.
like I don't blame them. I don't blame them at all. But to me, $100,000 would be great. But I'd rather have my pride, man. Like that's all I can really say on it.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate it once again. I really hope you don't give up. That'd be awful. But we'll still be here, continuing to bring things to you guys, helping make things public. Maybe we can go ahead and we'll try to get a hold of Fwiz and see what exactly is going on from his point of view as well. As there's always two sides of the story, and we'll just continue doing what we're doing. But Paul, man, don't give up. Really want to see you participate not only at Dallas but at the next Call of Duty XP-ish event, and watch you guys do your thing and hopefully take home some big money. So
I appreciate it, Doc. I appreciate the time. I appreciate I mean, you've kind of been here in not a similar situation. You deal with a lot of the players. You deal with a lot of the bullshit.
yeah,
You understand, man.
I understand. I understand helping, and then getting left behind when things start to really matter. That's for sure. All right, though, but this has been an online call or on the online podcaster exclusive here with Ego from Icons, and all the links will be down below for his stuff where you can check him out, his site, his website, his Twitter, his YouTube, and we'll drop you guys more information as we get it. Thanks a lot. I'm out.